Good afternoon, Zelda fans. Welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we've got Link to the Past Randomizer AD Keys Tournament 2022 for you. This is round 2, Matt versus 2C. And in the commentary booth, we've got Wallkicks and Schultzer. Guys, please take it away.
Hello, Schultzer.
Hello, Wallkicks. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Can you believe that this is already a round 2 matchup, my dude?
No, I thought this was starting like this weekend.
I mean, yeah, like how this whole tournament went and everything, like it's crazy. But with the idea of the Link to the Past Randomizer main tournament kind of coming up here at the end of the month with qualifiers beginning, we decided to kind of open up the brackets to start a week early, give runners a chance to kind of play at their own pace. And already we have 2 runners who decided, hey, let's get our first round matchups out of the way, and then let's already start our second round matchup. So this is matt7898 versus 2C. For the round of 16 here in the All Dungeons Key Sanity. And I believe this first game is going to be just open All Dungeons Key Sanity, but with starting boots.
Yeah, starting boots adds a little it makes an 80 keys faster, obviously, and it changes the early game a little bit. I like the non-starting boots early game in 80 keys, but people like the boots, so they're gonna want it from the start. Understandable.
Yeah, it's like sometimes people just want to go fast, and you know, I do agree that on some level there seems to be like a little bit of a push to kind of bring in starting boots, or even you see some modes with pseudo boots to where people can just kind of make things go by quicker. So, like you said, it adds a little bit of a routing opportunity. We're seeing both runners starting, Sanctuary. They found Bombos and they're going straight to Bonk Rocks.
And if you have boots, you can also bonk the whole time, which enhances your bonk counter. So the number is even higher.
That's what this tournament is really about. It's like who reaches 99 bonks first.
I don't think that will happen in the second stage anymore. I doubt it.
You never know.
Oh, that's a nice 3-pull, getting the 80 rupees here, and probably for 2C getting it twice in the Fortress as well.
Yeah, and he's also doing an AGA 1 check to see if AGA 1 is going to be required. And survey today says no, just a heart piece.
Yeah, especially...
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry.
go on.
No, you talk, Schultzer.
Okay, especially with boots that AGA being required, even though it's 80 keys, it's probably far more likely because of that one single check.
I see we're talking to people today. I'm pretty sure 2C talked to one of the twins, or one of the people cutting the tree, and then Matt just talked to the thief. Why are we talking to people, Schultzer?
I don't know. I thought we were gonna go fast. We even have boots to go fast. But I mean, if you don't have boots, you would not talk to people.
That's probably why it is. You know what? I agree, because you're trying to dash right there, and instead you just talk to the NPC, and he tells you about some guy named Andy. Never heard of him.
Nah, never, ever. Who is this guy?
So looks like 2C went ahead and picked up an extra bomb, something that Matt didn't, but it's no big deal because Matt picks up more bombs just in Blind's hut. So for 80 keys, what exactly are we looking for, Schultzer?
We are looking basically for everything.
Yes.
We need almost every single key besides 1 or 2 that we can skip by doing a little bit of glitches, and we also basically need all items. Like, there's not much we can skip. There are still opportunities to skip items, but most of the time it ends up being a full clear either way.
Yeah, so it's not uncommon to see collection rates in this mode up in the 180s, 190s, just because you're full clearing pretty much everything.
And we are also almost always full clearing GT because we are trying to find our castle towers more key in there that we just skipped in Hookshot Cave, for example.
If you skipped your castle tower key in Hookshot Cave, no one who would ever do such a thing.
I wouldn't do that.
Of course not.
I would skip it on purpose instead. Oh,
okay,
nice
okay.
item.
But that's also a much more reasonable skip.
Yeah.
Like, Purple chest is bad. A couple things that we have picked up so far. We have picked up a sword and cane of Samaya, along with a bottle here in Kakariko. So, and a hook shot as well. So for Matt and 2C, both of them don't have to worry about orphaning Sick Kid early on.
Yeah, that's also some really nice early game items. Hookshot can speed up your game by a little bit, like, for example, setting up spin speed, hooking instead of dashing. There's so much opportunities to save time with Hookshot, and Somalia being one of the best items to find before mids, because then you can just go Ice Palace and say, hey, I can do Ice Palace fast.
Yeah, and we also picked up a bow. So Kakariko turning out to be rather loaded so far today. I didn't want to say what everyone says when Kakariko is loaded, but, you know, some people say it.
I mean, it's not surprising. It has so many checks in the early game, and you need items to get more items.
Items for more items? I don't know what you're talking about. Why can't we just glitch to Ganon right here, right now?
Because we don't have a Master Sword yet, we cannot even damage
Dang
him.
it!
I thought you know that!
You're right. We did pick up a Turtle Rock Small Key, but that'll do it here for Kakariko. So a lot of good things, but also nothing that really gives us any particular direction. I mean, having said that, we're just going to go do South Shore and do South Shore things.
Yeah, at this point, our runner's probably hoping for the Eastern Palace Big Key to make decisions easy, to just go to Eastern Palace and finish their dungeon. But let's see how they approach South Shore, if they're gonna orphan Nagina, orphan Ice Sword Cave, to maybe play on the off check a little bit. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Sphere 1 is, or Sphere 0, whichever you prefer to consider it, like, it's hard to ignore early game, but, you know, runners do it. We do see another small key here on the dam on Matt's side. This might actually push him left. Nope, just kidding. He's going to continue east.
Yeah, with boots it doesn't feel too bad to do Agina early, but it's still Agina. It still takes forever. But yeah, who do you think has the upper hand today?
I mean, I think Matt overall probably just has an overall slight execution advantage, but I know 2C's routing tends to work out a little bit more often than like I feel like he's really good at making skips. Like he's really good at reading a seed and determining, hey, I can skip this, or hey, I can maybe try to cut time here. So I think this could be a really close matchup.
Yeah, maybe if 2C even he sees himself maybe a little bit worse in execution, but probably not by much. I mean,
oh yeah, no,
he does.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like 1 or 2 minutes. Like, I probably want to do 1 or 2 skips just to maybe even the odds a little bit, skipping 1 or 2 checks, hoping that it's not the required item. And if you do that like 2 or 3 times, you can put yourself in the lead very easily if those checks are not required, and you can lose everything if they are required.
Yeah,
can go in both ways.
Absolutely. So it's always a delicate balancing act. Matt, however, choosing the correct direction to go in South Shore, picked up a glove and picked up the flute in Ice Rod Cave. So some nice early things in that, and that definitely kind of screams the mountain.
Still haven't found the pearl. Still haven't found a normal Dark Red access. This has to be the mountain next. And then there's the next choice. Like, should I do Spectacle Rock Cave or not, Josh?
Would you put off Spec Rock Cave in this instance and just go straight over to Paradox?
Probably yes, but with boots, you can make an argument. It's so fast to do it with boots that it's just not worth skipping it. But I don't know. I decided on a whim most of the time to not.
Oh yeah. It's amazing. Like, you're trying to go into the minds of a runner, and a lot of times the runner's answer is like, I don't know. It is how I feel. It's how I feel at that moment.
You basically have to do that a little bit just to maybe have to be unpredictable. So it's always good to be unpredictable. If you know, like your opponent always does, Onka start, you can predict the route from him a little bit and see yourself against your opponent a little better in the seat. So actually being unpredictable, that is helpful sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean that's probably what a lot of top runners kind of see, is that they play a seed not the same way each time, and oftentimes find success. And we're seeing a little bit of divergence here.
Oh
no!
He chose the wrong chest.
Oh, that sucks so
Yeah,
bad.
we should probably explain this. What just happened?
Yeah, so 2C set up a water walk by kind of dashing near a pit, which for whatever reason that works. I don't know the exact specific details about that, but without a moon pearl, if you get a heart piece that fills up your hearts, you're kind of you lose your water walk state, and so that's kind of what happened to 2C. And without the moon pearl, he couldn't walk out and walk back in and regain his state, so he had to isolate the second chest there.
There's probably enough chances to come back to that chest, but that's basically almost only lost time at that stage. And that's another small key for Matt.
Alright, yeah, so we're gonna pick that up. Does he attempt the bomb jump, or do we just save and quit out of this?
I mean, with 2 hearts being on 1 heart going to Easter's Mountain, I would prefer the saving quit, honestly.
Same.
Like you can save time, but you can also lose more time.
Just an Ice Palace small key. Although, for routing purposes, having 1 small key to Ice Palace is always nice.
Yeah, you almost always want 1 small key or the big key to make routing feel good in Ice Palace. Oh no!
That was almost really good. Almost
Yes.
really good.
The Waffle House Dive, I think it's called in NMG, and also Matt's team name in the league. Kind of obvious you went for that.
Right. 2C's putting off the mountain a little bit longer. Gonna see about maybe. I imagine he might be looking for a fire source in case he needs to go into Eastern Palace or not Eastern Hera for whatever reason, which is our green pendant, by the way.
I think I often see 2C going for Sashana early. I mean, especially with the glove, it doesn't cost too much time. I don't think he's gonna head into Eastern Palace. But that Tether Vicky could really help if there's like a hammer on the mountain now. And
well, there's a hammer on the mountain, just not in the Hera big chest.
Yeah, but Matt probably has to skip the Hera big chest now, and if there's something important in there, like a pearl.
A vanilla moon pearl? Oh god.
That could be a really nice time save for 2C. But we will see. Like, there's no way he's going over to Hera and not clear it at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a nice routing advantage.
Oh
all
yeah.
your predictions come through at the end, maybe.
I mean, especially since there's a rod. There's an ice rod up there. I was gonna say, especially since like getting to Hera is the long way. Like you don't have a mirror to make a second trip up to Hera easy. If it's something like you said, the moon pearl, that's a couple of minutes that Matt or that 2C will save over Matt.
If it ends up being required.
If it ends up being required, yeah.
Why do we getting so many small keys? We cannot use any.
I mean, we got to use them eventually.
The small key is nice.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a good small key to pick up for sure.
And no logic progression in Hela at this point. We're only missing Pearl for Darkwood Axis, and we still have like all of Hydro Castle and Eastern Palace left at this point. So it's not too unlikely that we don't find it in Hela at this point. Oh, and there's the book.
Book?
In the light check format.
Right?
I have a feeling we're gonna see Desert Palace after Hela at this point.
I agree. And then this is Moldorm. I don't know why I keep mixing up Moldorm and Landmo in my head. Like, I had to stop and think about that. Be like, what boss is this? I'm like, oh yeah, this is Moldorm.
I mean, we were just talking about a Desert Palace. I will let that go.
Alright, but that is Hera down for Matt, green pendant in hand. With the book, you will be able to check Ether Tablet. Won't be able to get it, but we'll at least have the peace of mind of knowing what it is and whether or not he needs to come back. If that's something, oh, just kidding. Ignore what I was saying.
Why are we not checking the tablet?
I don't know.
I mean, we don't have Master Sword, so we cannot get it, but that could still be crucial information if there's something like a mirror sitting up there, or even a sword, or any other good big key.
Yeah, just having the knowledge of it would be vital, and it would give Matt another opportunity to potentially come back up here, maybe this time with the big key, in case, you know, the Hera big chest has something that might not be immediately of value, but could have something of value later down the road.
And it could even be faster if we don't have a sword if it's a chunk item.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a plus for every item.
Matt's going to head over to Sahasrarlight now. Going to feel really bad by picking up the Hera big key, but we'll be turning in the green pendant, so it's not terrible.
It's a win-loss either way, but the green pendant is easier to load in than the other thing. So we will see if it's required.
Please talk to Sahasrarla.
I wanted to set up the hammer dash. It's gonna do it on its way back.
Okay, good.
Oh, powder. The chain is going on and on and on.
I was gonna say, what is with the seed? It's giving us a lot of paths to take.
I'm surprised you did not check powder before going.
Same.
Like, it's such an object that you probably not gonna do more efficient than maybe with Smith Chain, but you don't know how when you're doing Smith Chain. Like at all in this scene. Alright,
so 16 minutes in and we're already going to get kind of a big moment in that 2C's going to be checking Hera big chest.
I think it's nothing, especially with the book being in the other chest. It is nothing! We have a lace!
Wow!
We still have a lace!
Oh, there's a lamp!
Wow. This opens up one check in Hyrule Castle and another one in Eastern Palace?
Yeah, that is what it logically gives us. And now you wonder if maybe the Desert Big Key is somewhere available, considering we've got the small key as well.
No.
Oh, 2C.
I want to just say, now we can look how C does in Moldorm and then he falls down.
Oh, no. Oh, good. The Compass of Hera. We now know how many checks are in Hera. It's 6.
It also, funny enough, the maps and compasses that do not many people know are actually required for the pendant, logically required for the pendant or the crystal pick up.
Is that still a thing?
Yeah, it's still a thing.
I did not know that. Case in point.
So it's the powder is one step closer into logic. And I wouldn't be surprised if the powder actually has an item.
Alright, 2C actually giving us the check of Ether Tablet. It is just bombs, so nothing that Matt needs to worry about, although that could be just in the back of his mind. And then 2C immediately gets dead rocked.
I was like, he gave Cat that. Maybe he's just gonna shoot away now and says, I don't need this check.
I mean, it's hard to justify skipping things before you have Dark World access, I would think. But, you know, you might know better than I would at that scenario. Like, what is your risk reward factor when it comes to doing checks when you still don't even have Dark World access? I
mean, I skipped what chest was it yesterday? A Maze Race. After I just saving quit after at the back of time, I was like, I'm gonna do the check later probably.
Fair enough.
Like, you're only missing one item for Dark World access. It shows up eventually, right?
Eventually. There's our Moon Pearl, by the way.
Oh, so the map is still out there somewhere to be logically required for that moon point actually.
Probably just sitting in Eastern somewhere.
Yeah, not that it matters, but I mean the
No.
name could lock that. That's the reason we're getting names already.
It's just a weird logical quirk that what maybe 5% of runners would even consider.
Yes.
But anyways, that is Dark World access. The Matt's going to start in the Hype Cave area. Pretty standard, especially since we only have one key to pod at this point, and no like Fire Rod from Othula or Thieves' Big Key.
What is your feeling about pod with one small key, like and a bow?
I don't mind it. I am never one to try to go around 100,000 times. Like, I'm just gonna open the front door regardless of my key count. I don't think it's too bad because it is like the one key is one of the kind of logical barriers in pod, because like when you think of key sanity in pod, you know, you're looking essentially 146, the one key to put the 2 checks in logic, the 4 keys putting the back into logic, and then the 6 keys putting everything else into logic. So I don't mind an early pod dip with just the one key, but that's me.
Yeah, I mean at this point, I think they want at least a second small key to have an easy way to the bike.
Yeah.
But yeah, because Susi already went to Saha, he's probably not getting that check. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually Nastocation powder. That could be good or bad, depending on what's inside Hydro Castle or Eastern Palace early, like if there's a double dip required. But he's not gonna double dip Eastern Palace, so that actually works really good for him now.
Yeah, because I mean he can now just route in Eastern Palace entirely, and then go back and turn in the Green Pendant for his powder. That's actually really nice. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the Moonpearl would feel a lot worse if he dips Eastern Palace, but now he can clear Eastern Palace, and it's basically not bad, because Matt has to do that eventually too. Like, he's not losing time at this point.
But for Matt, it becomes kind of like, when does he do that? Because, you know, ideally in Matt's scenario, you loop Front of Escape and Uncle in with probably like a pyramid check with the mirror. But we don't know where that mirror is. That mirror could be anywhere at this point.
Yeah. Also, what he maybe wants to find is something like an not an Eastern Palace small key, one Aga Tower small key to completely do all of Hydro Castle with Aga Tower. Like, I can also see that before going in to dip Eastern Palace, or like Mirror to do it from the pyramid.
Yeah, definitely. We did see 2C pick up a second pod key in Dark Cross. Funny enough, he kind of stayed within logic in Hyrule Castle. Like, he didn't do Front of Escape. The first check in Front of Escape is in logic without the Hyrule Castle small key, but he ignored the Front of Escape entirely and only did Dark Cross.
Matt's full clearing. Oh, and there's our logic for Hyrule Castle. I'm actually a bit surprised that Matt began at Skywoods. It always feels to me that beginning at Seas Town and Sanity feels better, because you have a chance to get a Skywoods small key to make Skywoods basically not be bad throughout early if you don't have a key. Like, then you maybe have a chance that you don't find a small key and have to go to the back of Skywoods to get one item out of there, and you never find the other small key. And if you do Seastorm first, you can just stop in and save and quit out of there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, because he's already done kind of the South Dark World checks, if he were to start in the village area, he would just come up north and just, like you said, kind of end his route here in Skullwoods. A couple things that we have seen. Matt did pick up a Castle Tower key. 2C picked up our third sword, though, in Eastern Palace.
So nice to find. Let's see if we can find anything else. I mean, the Desert Palace map has to show up at some time. Wait,
maybe
no, the Hella map. Or did we have the Hella map already?
I have not paid attention at all. Sorry.
Why should we ever paid attention to such stupidness? I mean, the Hera compass chest mainly comes to a good purpose if there's a map or compass on the pedestal, and you basically know, hey, the progression for any pen dungeon is probably not in GT. Like, that's the main use of that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going to Eastern Palace now. Sadly, lost Matt because he has internet connection issues, but he should be back in any second.
Yeah, hoping to get Matt back soon. Ooh, they're the mitts.
I would say that worked out for 2C.
In a big way.
I wouldn't call it like big, like mids.
I mean, I just
it may things faster, but it's just about like maybe 20 seconds to go around the loop, especially with boots.
True, but I think I just think having the early mitts will just make some of his decision making a little bit easier. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Matt, by the way, sitting here in Thief's Town, because he did lose connection a little bit, we have no idea what he has and hasn't picked up. Looking at his tracker, I don't see anything. New.
I think the main thing is that he has small key and the Maya small key, and of course the Agatha small key that we saw already.
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing major. Because 2C already had all the good items on his side, so it makes sense that they don't show up on that side. Oh, not a big key for GT.
Okay. All right, not bad.
That's always a sign. The GT big key early. It's time to skip stuff.
It's time to skip. Well, we know 2 of our 3 pendants. We know one of them is Thieves Town. We know one of them is Tower of Hera. So, we can already start making conclusions about what could potentially be in GT, depending on what our 3rd pendant is.
Having early pendants, especially the quiet early pendants, usually makes seeds better. But yeah, now Matt can go over to the castle and basically clear the entire dungeon.
And this will be good for him because he'll pick up his Eastern Palace big key as well.
Yeah.
Which will
gonna have a
drive him to Eastern eventually for sure. And then 2C right now about to pick up his Moon Pearl.
Like, the most important thing is basically if there's any good item in front of Escape and Aga Tower. Because that could be a place where 2C doesn't go in the next, 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, because Matt does have that 1 CT key. So yeah, like you said, he's able to, get all the checks in Aga Tower.
And 2C finally can go into the Dark World.
Yay! Both hunters have Dark World.
Yay! It does seem like 2C is behind here, but he's not actually. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, I think it just kind of depends on how 2C decides to route the Dark World with the mitts in hand. And he's starting immediately over in the Mire area now. Do you go into Mire if you're able to at this scenario?
Without any keys? Nah. It just... Mire without small keys is just never a good play you want to make.
Sure. But we can, in fact, get into Mire with the Bombas, although, Ether is nice as well.
And there's another pot small key. I think that's our 3rd pot
Yes,
key?
we're up to 3 now.
Now the pot plays is the possibility.
Yep. 2C, though, is going to take his Bombos and go directly into Mire.
I'm very surprised about that one. Mire is so accessible with Flute, because it's so near basically a starting point. And without small keys loading, you will see it just doesn't add up in Mire.
Plus he's got Samaria as well. It's not unreasonable to think that the Mire big key isn't too far away. And you could come here and full clear it in one go. Hey, there's your Hera map, by the way.
Totally in logic. Yay!
I think we almost determined that it had to be there.
I think we could have.
Now the big question, Schultzer, would you have identified that and then skipped that chest? And I know this is the Hera map.
I would have been proud of myself, but probably not. Then the concept would have been, why does he skip one check with the map? Yeah, it's not worth going for that. And also, you may have the possibilities that there is an item that could lead there.
Sure.
I mean, there could be a mushroom that's in it. Okay, at this point, it could have not been a good item, to be fair. Like, to see Candid use that, probably at some point. But she probably doesn't. But yeah, that was only the biggie of Swamp Palace in Thunder Fighter Castle, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the only thing of value that we got out of that, which, I mean, I could argue that its value is relatively low.
Now. And that's our last sword. At 29 minutes.
2C's got to be careful here.
Yeah.
Oh god!
We can also point out that all these checks that he does in Maya are not a logic for him. The only checks that are actually in logic are the first 2 checks, where you don't need any more keys. And
that's huge.
That's a big fine for Matt. Like the mirror here, I don't know when 2C is gonna go back for that one.
Yeah, it could be a while for 2C because you kind of want the mirror to kind of come back here. So yeah, there's I don't know, that's a big find for Matt for sure.
Yeah, Miller, you don't want to underestimate Miller. Like doing a death warp in a dungeon saves time. Using Miller instead of saving quitting saves time. Miller having Miller like 10 minutes more than your opponent can be a small boost, like the child of boosts. Let's say it that way.
Yeah, I totally agree. 2C though does find Quake, so that's all 3 medallions already. The other one, Ether, being in Meyer's Shed. So, hooray, medallions!
But yeah, that Meyer dip was, besides getting a sword, that's basically useless because it's not from 2C currently, but he's gonna find his gods up probably at some point. I actually forgot what that was again. Other than that, I don't think he got anything out of Maya besides Quake.
Yeah, nothing that really helps us right now.
And with Matt basically just following location, I think Matt is now in a better position than 2C.
Oh, absolutely. I think Matt is. I think Matt's routing decisions have paid off more than 2C's.
Not that 2C's routing options decisions were bad, but just worked out a little bit in the favor of Matt.
Yeah, precisely. And
like the only thing you can say that it's good for 2C he left those checks in Hyrule Castle behind, because now he has more incentive to go back there at some point, even without Mila.
And with all 3 medallions in hand, 2C is entirely going to walk himself into Turtle Rock. Just the one small key, so we're not getting very far. So I don't mind the play with just the one key.
I think I would be inclined to just skip TR entirely. Like you cannot go far in. The item density is at Hookshot Cave, and it's basically only one check you're doing in here that you can do later.
Yeah, that's fair. Now we know where the mirror is. Like we also know that there's not a whole lot in Turtle Rock that would be great right off the bat, because like Matt has the mirror, which obviously leads to the ice rod. So like what could realistically be in Turtle Rock that would help 2C immediately? And the answer is not much. Maybe the flippers.
Maybe I see some big key.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
a good find.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised 2C didn't make its way over to which of Outcast yet, with having mids after Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm a little surprised as well.
Okay, we actually can get 2 checks, but that's it. I mean, we can almost full clear TR. We're only missing Fire Lord and the TR Smoky format at this point. And yeah, and we know where Ice Sword is. Oh, they're flippers.
Well, all right.
Now I can do Waterfall Fairy again.
He can get the other chest because that's exactly what's on his mind.
It probably is actually.
Yeah, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised. This also does open up Ice Palace for 2C.
And not Smoke Palace yet because he needs mirror, but Smoke Palace is nice. Matt also getting his GTB key, and there's the Blue Maid, and there's the Fire Rod.
There's a Fire Rod. So that'll be really good for Matt when he comes up here with mids, assuming he holds off for a third TR key.
Yeah, but what does Matt next play here? I think it has to be my area, and then Mountain. After he goes into pot, of course.
Potentially, yeah. I could also maybe see him sequence break Ice Palace. Especially if he finds like the Ice Big Key. I think sequence breaking Ice Palace is fine.
Yeah. But Mountain has so many fast checks.
You're right, it does. TwoCPlus gonna take the Fire Rod that he picked up and gonna do these right side checks.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate that he got Fire Rod after going into TR. I'm actually surprised he went into TR first. I think the better play is to do the auto checks first in case of getting like a Fire Rod or anything like that, because you don't have a mirror, you can just save and quit out of TR.
Right, I agree.
And there's...
I mean,
if Matt ever goes up the mountain, he can full clear TR.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah, that would be a clear of Turtle Rock for him.
Okay, not full clear. We have to skip one chest at this point, but that's good enough for me.
Yeah. Also, a quick map check on 2C side did reveal that our other pendant today is Desert. So that is full knowledge collectively. We know our pendants today are Desert, Hera, and Thieves Town.
Funny enough, the one Agatha's Monkey was required for an Eastern Palace map logically to get into GT. So there can only be one Kazutowa's Monkey in GT. Not that it helps. Hey, that was the gold sword.
Oh yeah, it's Hype Cave. I forgot that as well. And there's the TRBQ. Okay.
I mean, it's good to see that Deke didn't went inside at this point. But when does he want to go back to TR? That's the question now. He only knows the Ice is up there. He maybe can hold off to do it for like the entirety of the seed if TR doesn't have anything required in the back. And that could potentially happen.
I mean, item like we're good on items. We're at this point just looking for keys. Like,
oh, you're right.
Collectively, you know, we know where the ice rod is, and we have everything else again combined with all our runners. Yeah, we're just looking for keys at this point. I have to imagine this is going to be a fairly quick seed by the looks of it.
Okay, what do we need? We need the Maya big, the Seastorm big, the Pot big, Desert Palace big, and an Agatha's Monkey. That's 5 items connected.
Yep.
After 38 minutes, that's not much.
Right. All right, did Matt get anything of value in the checks in pod? I think I feel like he may have gotten like a GT small. I don't think he got really anything else.
I didn't think he got anything important. Let's see if he's gonna dive into an empty Maya here at this point. I mean, he has Maya's marquees, so he's more inclined to do it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I would almost want to see if he can sniff out the Mire Big at this point, because he has an Ice Palace that he can clear minus the big chest out of logic, and he has the mountain. You know, he has Dark Death Mountain that he could do.
Yeah, I would be surprised if we see a Matt here going into Maya.
2C, meanwhile, giving us a check of Hammer Pegs, finds nothing there. Did he turn in the Smith? I don't know.
No, he doesn't have Miller, so he should have picked it up.
That's right.
The one thing that Linny goes in Matt's favor, that Miller. Like that, everything went well for 2C basically until the Miller showed up for Matt. Or it went good.
I think your English was correct the first time. Alright, so now Matt is going to kind of go... We're going to kind of go over each other's steps for a little bit. So probably a good time to be like, hey, these are pretty awesome runners. I'm going to give 2C and Matt both follows. Also want to thank our trackers today, Toffile and Scott G, for keeping us honest. And, you know, Schultzer, it's always a pleasure to commentate with you.
Yeah, same. Same goes to you. Also thanking the CSR guys that are having such a great overview for commentators. It makes so much fun to commentate. Like, especially if I don't have a webcam, you can actually see their reaction to checks. That's always the best.
Those are all, yeah. Having webcams are always really good. Neither of these runners do have a webcam right now, but yeah, it's. I do like how ZSR kind of handles everything. It's really nice. All right, so Matt gonna go open up Turtle Rock. Assuming he does Hookshot K first, he will find his Ice Rod. He'll find his Fire Rod. Will also pick up his Ice Rod, and then I'll imagine he would probably dip into Turtle Rock, where he will pick up his third key and be able to clear it out minus the vanilla big key chest.
Yeah, especially he has the opportunity right now. I mean, he has to grab Ice Rod either way, and he has the opportunity to actually go at this point to Laser Ditch, so he has to clear those checks before actually going into TR.
TC, meanwhile, probably going to take this Fire Rod and go all the way up and finish off Mothula while he's here.
Yeah, he does have 2 small keys, so that's nice for routing. Like, that's always a good thing if you can, like, end up, especially if you don't have Miller, if you go to Skywoods, do Skywoods stuff, and then just end up saving quitting at Skywoods and don't have to worry much about going into season again or stuff like that. So that worked good for him.
Well, where do you think 2C goes after this? Like, what do you think 2C would be interested in doing?
I think flipper checks. Honest, I think Ice Pen is. It has to be Ice.
Yeah.
Ice and maybe doing a Solar first. Oh, that was the other TS Morky that we haven't seen on Matt's side.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good for 2C. But like you said, like with the mirror location, 2C could end up maybe trying to go back into Turtle Rock looking for that mirror.
Nah, I don't think so.
I mean, I agree, but the chances are there.
There's an Isot sitting on floating island.
It's just really hard. I agree.
I can see many things. That's not one of them.
Schultzer sees everything, everybody.
I think it has to be Ice Palace or something with flipper checks.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's definitely 2C's next play.
Then finding more big keys for pot maybe? Desert Palace Pendant. I mean, what actually can he find in Ice Penance? He can find a Maya big, a Pot big, a System big.
Meyer and Pod Big, like weirdly enough, Meyer and Pod Bigs essentially get us into GT at this point.
Oh, System is dependent.
Yeah, these is pendant.
I didn't realize that one. I thought we already had to.
So yeah, like we are, Matt's gonna pick up his flippers. I don't recall where the Swamp Small was.
Isn't that...
It's got to be around here on the mountain somewhere.
That was in Hookshot Cave. I think
Oh, okay.
Matt has it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, he just doesn't have it marked on his personal tracker. And but shout out to Scott for tracking it for me, and I am being bad and not looking. I apologize.
I was like, what's that
I'm bad. It's okay.
Good thing you're not attacker. Good thing you're the commentator.
I speak. That's all I do.
Oh yeah, he picked up the flippers and immediately realized, oh, I actually got a Swamp Penance Monkey, so he's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, so Matt's just... Did Matt use all 3 of his pod keys in pod?
Yes.
Okay, so he would need to find another pod key, which would be not bad. There is something big on 2-seat side.
At this point, I think you're just gonna clear Aga Tower.
Yeah, that is... Honestly, that's kind of a bailout.
He's... Like, you can do Ice Penance or Aga Tower, but you can't full clear Aga Tower.
Mm-hmm.
And opens up a faster way to that bomb. You don't have Jack Pyramid yet. You can maybe combine that with Catfish. And then you get a mirror and can combine it with Flipper Jacks. That really works out nice for 2C.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not a check that Matt will miss at any point. But he goes to Ice Penance first. I don't think it's a mistake, but I think Hydrocast is the better play here. Oh, he hasn't even checked the island.
No, when he water walked, he just went straight to Waterfall Ferry.
Oh yeah, because I wanted to end up at Hobo. Makes sense. So unfortunate. I mean, he still has a chance to not go into ice and go Aga Tower first.
Yeah, it's possible. It's kind of unfortunate that he's doing this first. Obviously, he doesn't know that the mirror is sitting in Aga Tower, and this will turn all of this routing very nicely. Hello, Palace of Darkness Big Key.
I could also do Port, which would also not be good for him, because having a mirror for Port does save some time. And he's going to Port. Like, he doesn't know where mirror is, so he cannot make that call.
Right.
And it's like probably 1 death pop he has to make in the Dark Maze, so that's not too bad.
Well, I imagine he's just going to beat the boss first and then save and quit out of the Dark Maze.
Yeah, or do smart things like war kicks.
Sometimes I think of ways to play this game. Sometimes, not all the time.
Sometimes. Only if you're playing in a tournament.
Yeah, precisely.
Otherwise we're all just clowning around.
I take the latter as a way to like check, try new strats or kind of think about things differently.
Yeah, it's good to have more routing options always.
Mm-hmm. Matt, by the way, on Laser Bridge.
I mean, TR didn't have anything upon in the back yet.
Not yet.
So that could be... Oh, there's Pot's Marquee. So he's probably not caring much about that one. Another Pot key. He's probably not caring much about that one. He has 3 small keys, he's connecting everything, but Vanilla Big Key Chest and Harmless Away, and just has to play that there's nothing inside it.
Yep.
But to be fair, that could be also a good time investment for Matt if he goes back to Port and quickly is it. That's basically... I think that's time that 2C needs at this point. Matt just a little bit, so to say, overkilling the seed.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, I think Matt has kind of played the seed a little bit better overall. Yeah, I don't know. I think I guess I don't have anything good to say, Schulter.
Sometimes I make good calls.
Sometimes, sometimes you make really good points, and I don't have a counter argument for it. Alright, so that is crystal number 2 for Matt. 2C also heading towards his second crystal on Helmasaur King. There's a lot that's available to Matt right now. I imagine Swamp Palace is something that is on his mind, because he can full clear it.
I would expect a full clear of Swamp Palace format, especially with Swamp Palace big key. I don't see him skipping left side Swamp.
No.
Oh, he actually goes back for the Tower Feather big chest. And the tablet. If he remembers it.
If he remembers the tablet this time. Spike Cave probably. It would depend on what's in Matt's bottles. I know he has a green potion. I don't remember what the first bottle we had was, because he doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough hearts to get through Spike Cave without assistance.
I think we had a fairly enough bottle, but I'm not sure.
Alright, so Matt closed his logical loophole just by picking up that hair big chest. That was probably something that was just in the back of his mind, considering when he turned in his green penny, he had also got the hair big chest at the same time. That was probably just something that was just nagging for him, saying, hey, let me take care of this so I have peace of mind.
And he probably has some kind of potion. I think we had a fairly in a bottle, but I'm not 100% sure.
Given that Matt's doing this, I suspect he knows he has either a red or a fairy. Oh, there's a red. Yeah. It's like, I can't imagine Matt wouldn't be doing this if he wasn't aware of the contents of his potions.
Yeah, to see probably heading into Ice Palace after that one. Just have to go over to Agatha at some point.
Yep. Matt's probably heading to Swamp at this point. Do you think Matt needs something to be in Swamp? Like, in chat they're talking about how 2C's position isn't so bad because 2C has a second Castle Tower key, which we know Matt's going to get. It's not like Matt's going to skip that, but having that second Castle Tower key could spur 2C into maybe being a little bit more bold with some skips.
I don't even know who's imploded. I have actually no idea. Both have dungeon and the other one not did. They're both completely doing different things. I have no idea who's in the lead right now. To be totally honest here.
We need another 20 minutes to kind of pick this one out.
I think they're not that even. It's pretty unlikely that one runner is super ahead on the other one. It's just too close to call. It depends on what skips they're making, what major item could be in an off check. It's still.
Yeah, I mean that pod big key sitting on Hobo. How long does Matt put off Hobo? Because Hobo is just a bad check. Oh, big key. Oh, bad big key.
That's the small key for getting the Casator small key before everything else. That's the big key for that. There's no way he's putting off Skywards at any point now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a check that 2C maybe never comes back.
Yeah, potentially. And this
also Smith's chain is pretty bad now. Especially if System Big is in GT. When are you ever going to do Smith's chain in the seed? Ever?
I would say I think in this seed the answer is you don't. Alright, 2C into Ice Palace. No big key, so not going to be able to full clear the dungeon, but with Canis Maria and a small key, this isn't going to be too bad of a... This will be relatively quick.
Like another small thing I actually think about right now is to see should probably do Hado Castle now. At this point,
He should. You're right.
as more he puts up, I mean, the more hearts he gets, and the death swap out of Zelda Cell takes longer and longer.
No, I agree. Like those are really good points. Because
Like
without the mirror, he's obviously going to do Front of Escape first, and then, like you said, he's going to have to Death Warp, and then he'll pick up his mirror in Aga Tower. Or maybe 2C is just like, hey, the Front of Escape just doesn't exist, period, and goes straight to Aga Tower and gets bailed out.
Yes, and then still doesn't do Front of Escape, because like,
Yeah.
it's good, I don't want to do it ever again.
Be like, nah, I got the mirror, I've got Swamp Palace all available to me. Let's just go to Swamp.
Oh wait, he didn't get Hado Castle Small Wave, when was that?
I thought
thought
that
it
was
was-
in, like, Skullwoods area.
Yeah. What? Wasn't that? Oh, that was the one. Wasn't that the one chest in?
That was Vanilla
Was that
Vicky
Vanilla Vicky
chest.
chest?
Yeah, did 2C? 2C had to have done that.
Yeah. I would be surprised if he did. He skip that? That could.
I
I
would
mean,
be shocked.
that could be good for him. Depending on the content of the Swamp Palace big chest. That's a
Mhm.
bomb turning out to be garbage as always. And more hard containers. No.
Just a longer Death Warp. Also, 2C's entirely skipping Ice Tea Room, I imagine.
Yeah. If you're dropping down here and flip the switch, there's no way you're getting back
Mhm.
to the Vicky chest. Not the Vicky chest, I see. They can see you have two Agathos Morkis, you have the Cheaty Vicky. You don't need that many items. And there's one of them in Swamp Palace.
Yep, there's one of them that we need. That is GT access collectively.
Now, like if 2C does the bottom chest first, he's never doing left side swamp.
No. I mean, I think he skips left side swamp in general, period. Like
at this point, like 2C is gonna head over to cast the tower at this point, maybe does flipper checks before that. Then
well, he can't
gets
do flipper
mirror,
checks. He's got to save and quit right
Agathon.
now. Because he doesn't have a mirror.
Yeah, you can get back there quick.
Yeah, I know, but...
But 2C start is like pretty set from this point out.
Mhm.
And then he's just gonna do TR, get his eyes out, and work the TR, be mad about pot small keys, and go to GT to
yeah,
side hunt those biggies down. Like, he has an easy time to get to GT now, which is good for him. Like, I can see that 2C is probably ahead at this point, because he's gonna skip more stuff than Matt.
yeah, I agree. That was a really good, almost zero cycle on Matt's side.
Oh, he's not even going for the Son of Hado Castle.
No, of course not. I told.
I mean, he doesn't have to Hado Castle small key, and he could know that the Hella map is in the first chest. Like, why should you ever do the Front of Escape?
Oh my goodness. Alright, well that's the mirror for 2C. So he is just the Meyer Big from being in GT mode, which we know is in Swamp, which is quite honestly probably his first check.
Like, 2C is gonna be the first one in GT. 100%.
I agree.
Especially with that dip into TR that I decided to criticize, actually paid off huge. With the flippers in the first check.
Mhm.
Yeah. He did the right choice. I mean, I probably would have. Like, almost everyone would have done it. Nah, if you get fired out, I don't know. You have to open it first. Was a good call from him. I have to agree. In the end.
To answer chat, the mirror does lock the ice rod, but we know it. We know where the ice rod is on Floating Island. So, it. Other than that, the mirror checks really haven't paid out for Matt.
I mean, the only mirror checks we have seen at this point are Swampiness. Oh yeah, we have seen Checkerboard Cave.
Yeah, we've seen Checkerboard Cave and like Mimic Cave. Matt's gonna go full clear Mire at this point, which makes sense. He's got the big key. He's not isolating something like, the Ice Ballast big chest that he would isolate.
I would probably do Skywards first, like that. There are less opportunities to skip items in Skywoods because the checks are so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And you can check pad, which can give you huge information at this point. I just like doing Skywoods first, I think.
Yeah, I think it's very reasonable.
Especially with the pad check combined. Did we actually see the pad from 2C? I know it didn't have
No, because it didn't have the mirror.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, 2C is probably the first one in GT, and already done Aga Tower.
I was like if 2C's the first one in GT, I mean, he's in very good shape because we have not seen either one of our pendant big keys yet in anything that Matt's done, and so if they're both just in GT, then obviously that's great for 2C.
Yeah, and like I said, Matt is still on his full clear because he doesn't have the pot big key.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna probably full clear pot as well, and if the Seastone big key and the Disappear's big key are just in GT, then it's 2C's game to lose.
Yeah, and this kind of goes back to kind of how I kind of described 2C's play, is that he has a good sense as to when to as to how to route a seed and make kind of the optimal skips that you need to make.
I'm actually surprised he's not even checking catfish. He is really aggressive.
Yeah, definitely agree. This will open up. Not that I think 2C is going to do it, but the Swamp Clear will open up Pyramid Fairy for 2C.
Do you really think 2C is gonna clear that bomb?
No, no, he skips it entirely. But I'm just saying that does open up Pyramid Fairy for 2C. But no, he skips it entirely.
How many existed does? I mean, he has 4 existers. We get his first. We get my big key for his 6, and then can go GR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's on a good zone.
Ooh, there's a big key though. That's an interesting one.
I don't think you skipped it, but you can skip it.
I would say that is something you can entirely skip, but yeah, I don't know if 2C's aggressive play will lead to that skip in particular.
Yeah.
But having said that, that is one less big key we need to worry about. We now just need to look for the desert big key, and we are good to go.
And that could be sitting anywhere at this point. You have so much stuff left to clear.
Imagine we get to Gomo GT.
Imagine in 80 keys you can Gomo GT.
Imagine in 80 keys we get to Gomo GT.
He really did skip. I mean, he skipped the Hydro Cast is small. In the Skyward, though, that's a check you probably don't skip normally.
I mean, especially with Canis Samaria.
And he is in GT mode. I can totally see that skip happening.
The Thief Sound skip or the Thief Sound big skip? Or...
Yeah, that is probably the side of the place.
Yeah, I agree, because if he goes into GT looking for 2 big keys and Matt's only in there looking for 1, he's obviously going to full clear GT, while Matt would then go, mirror out and start the climb once he were to find the desert big key, theoretically, of course, if it is in there. All right, so that is crystal number 4 for Matt, full clear of Meyer, and this will be GT mode for 2C with that big key to Meyer.
Like, he's never doing left side spawn. Like,
oh yeah, no.
Who are we kidding?
Goodbye forever, left side swamp.
I can totally see that as a that he's some big key skip.
Yeah, I can as well. But we'll wait and find out.
Yeah, and that's the thing about skippables again that I mentioned beforehand. Like, it's always a thing that you cannot combine with anything basically besides the Skyward's pictures.
To answer your question, chat, Matt will pick up CT2 here in Skullwoods. It's in the back.
Yeah, that's not going to be the problem. The problem is going to be. Wait,
oh,
nice.
Nice.
Oh, that's
sharp. Oh, that's gross.
Wait, where was this Skyward's pick again?
That was first stress swamp.
Wow. See. Don't have anything to say about that one.
That's just nasty. Alright, 2C now taking on Argus. We'll be getting crystal number 5 here in a moment.
And then it's decision time. Are you gonna check? Like, how is he skipping stuff? I can totally see him skipping the My Pictures as well.
Mm-hmm. CT2 there for Matt.
Especially knowing that you're in GT mode with 2 pendants, like... I think he did so many skips already that he really should take that one chest, because... On the other side... I don't know.
He's now doing K45.
I don't know if he skips it. Like, I can see both sides. No stats full. Don't want him to skip it. Could be so bad. Oh, K45 actually with the best boomerang in the game. Doesn't pick it up. Thatch. Like I mentioned, you don't usually skip the My Pictures, but you also don't usually skip the Skyward's Picky chest.
Right? Alright, crystal number 5 for Matt. I suspect he's probably going to make his way to the Ice Palace. I'm curious to know where this Ice Big Key is.
Somewhere.
Well, thank you. Alright. Another
Big
moment of truth in the game.
Time. Doesn't equip hookshot yet. And he's going.
Alright, he's going.
Oh my god!
What?
Desert
Okay, was that a pod key?
Big key is not in GT.
What key was that?
That was a pod small key.
Damn. Okay, so that is big knowledge right there.
I mean, Desert Palace big key can just turn up and see some, but if it doesn't, that could be game for to see. Like, yeah. Matt does now know GT is cannot have anything.
That's
like,
very
GT
interesting.
is dead for us, and how? If Desert Palace big key is not in Seastone, why would 2C not just go for GT? Like, 2C needs the Desert Palace big key to show up in Seastone, otherwise he full clears GT for nothing.
Yeah. Do you think 2C does Thieves Town before TR at this point?
Of course, there's no reason not to do sea zone. It's 4 items
Right.
on the way. If it's there, you can skip GT, and there's no reason to not do it. Like you can make the argument that you can save time in sea zone by skipping 4 tests if it's not in sea zone, but that's like 30 seconds.
I was gonna say the 4 checks in Thiessen are all right next to your path, so that makes sense.
But yeah, that pet knowledge, and it's not like an obscure thing like a map or a compass. It's really obvious. It will help Matt. Also interesting for him, he knows that Jackson ported that because they require 6 pot small keys.
Mm-hmm.
He has to get the pot big key, of course, but he does now know he's only looking for the Desert Palace big key after he gets over to Hobo. And then he can go mode pot, so he doesn't lose that much time in pot.
This assumes that he recognizes it, though. Like,
at this stage, you should recognize. Like, that's not hard logic. It's like, I need that big key for this small key. This small key locks those checks. It's basically like Flipper's logic that you should recognize.
You're right. I'm pointing out the potential. All right, 2C's next play.
Oh, let us skip some to see that we now see.
Into Thieves Town.
And yeah, if Jessup is basically not there, I don't think it's gonna do Smith Chain. Otherwise, he would have probably done it earlier.
Well, he didn't have the mirror for a while, so.
But yeah, that could be GG. Like, an entirely GT could put them really close together, but that also means that 2C has to God out to the Desert Palace big key.
Yeah, so if you're rooting for Matt, this is, you don't want to see the Desert Big here in Thieves Town for 2C.
If you're rooting for 2C, you want to see the Desert Palace big key.
Precisely.
Like if the game is gonna decide it in here, in Thieves Town. It still feels like that Matt is enough dungeons behind, but he also has done TR that he hasn't done yet. So that basically evens out Aga Tower / TR.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, again, so now Matt just needs to mirror and go to Hobo, and check Hobo, and get his pot big.
And then be like, wait, I only need a desert, a pendant big key that I know is locking existing dungeon.
Alright, so here. Alright, so yeah, definitely going to Hobo right now. So that's good for Matt.
I mean, I wouldn't complain about that seed if I have pet knowledge, like knowing that that GT is dead is always nice. Especially if you're not in go mode and you know GT is dead. Like, what do you want more out of an 80 key seed? And those next 3 checks will decide race. And wouldn't it be funny if the Desert Palace Biggie would show up in how's this cave called? Waterfall Fairy Cave?
Oh, and Waterfall Fairy? Nope, it's just.
Nope.
Oh,
no, it's debated! Debated!
Oh, I was ready to announce it right there.
I mean, it was the only other Biggie we are missing, yes.
Oh, man. Hey, that was the ice big. Very nasty.
Let's see if, like, Matt only needs to root the boss here. He should know that everything else is not possible for his go mode. Let's see.
Definitely
yeah, he just goes for
key,
the boss.
Yeah. All right, that's good. That's good for him.
And one last check for 2C. Already finding one big key in this town. Can he find another one? No, it's the map of Ice Palace. And he has the mirror out. He's gonna full clear GT for nothing, and we know that. Oh, that's such a feels bad, man.
Mm-hmm. But depending on where the Desert Big is, like, you know, Matt, it could take Matt some time to find it, because, you know, what do we have left that isn't GT at this point? We have Smith Chain, Pyramid Fairy, the rest of our Flippers checks, and, like, Graveyard Ledge. And the shovel that we picked up at a mire.
And Lava Chest, and and Ice Palace Big Chest. And the main problem here, if it's such an object, I can see just going for that object.
Yeah, I agree.
Like he's not going to search his Desert Palace Big and left side small. He's not gonna search it on pad, obviously. Duh.
Schultzer, please. Just because I would do something. No, I'm just kidding.
Like if that game would come down to see checking the long chest in Waterfall Valley, that would be so stupid.
That'd be heartbreaking. Alright, so that is crystal number 7 format.
Wait, he already has 7 crystals?
Yes!
He's also playing the game fast. With
yeah,
food.
we're an hour and 15
Surprise.
in with 7 crystals.
Feels like everyone has gotten better at AD keys since the tournament. Damn.
It's like the tournament does that. Advanced chat, no, Matt has not done Catfish.
Yeah, Matt definitely knows that he doesn't need to rush GT here. Like, he knows. And at this point, I would say he's at this point an GT behind. Not a GT, like the Seastone behind. I would probably say that Agator probably takes as much time as Clear of TR.
Yeah, I think so.
Lovely. Maybe Agator is even shorter. Depending on how much stuff 2C decides to skip in TR.
Man, that'd be wild. Like, I can definitely see a Mimic Cave big chest skip.
I can also see and I cannot really see
I was like, I have a hard time believing he'd skip Laser Bridge.
I would believe if you mess up like one, if you fall down a pit and like, nah.
Yeah, if you get knocked down on the last one, then yeah, maybe you just walk away from that one. But I don't know. Schultzer, this has been an interesting race.
Yeah. It was a lot of back and forth.
Mm-hmm. A lot of very different routing once you picked up Dark World Access. And
it would have been a lot more interesting if the knowledge about GT did not show up, but you cannot get everything.
I mean, I think it's added to the intrigue because it's kind of given us a little bit of a lead change. Like we've seen several lead changes over the course of the seed, just in terms of like the item placements. You know, Matt picked up the mirror early, and we thought at that point, okay, Matt's got a pretty solid advantage. But then 2C picked up the second Castle Tower key, which allowed him to get to his mirror and gave him the opportunity to maybe make some extra skips that Matt didn't do, which would then put 2C in the lead. But then it flipped around again once Matt checked Pedestal.
Yeah, that pad check was huge today.
Matt thinking
Also
he was about to be in go mode for a second, and then was sad.
Should be happy that he did not get his go mode right there. From our perspective.
2C, by the way, did do the big chest and Mimic Cave. A little surprised at that.
Yeah, so where's that's a pretty big. Is it just sitting on Smith? I cannot imagine that Matt is gonna skip Smith here. Like it's 4 checks for him with shovel,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's just gonna be the flipper checks, and then it's bad checks.
Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb.
Pyramid hasn't done. That bomb is also possible.
Yeah. Although I imagine he would do Aga 1 first, just to make turning in the bomb easier.
I don't think that matters.
Oh, Matt would also know that Pyramid Fairy is not a play.
Oh yeah, okay.
Shout out to our tracker for figuring that out for us.
Like looking at our access stalls. Ooh, to see dodging the laser shot with the hook shot. Twice.
That is wild. I've never seen that.
Getting 2 pots more keys. Yeah, I think we already have seen hammer packs, but the Smith chain is new for us.
Correct. I forgot it was just that single rupee.
Oh no.
Alright, what will our Smith have for us today?
A nice bow upgrade. That could also come in handy for Ganon. Make a little bit of time difference if that's a perspective is not on purple chest. Not much. But yeah, we know where we have to look for the disappeared picky, and it's sadly not on 2C side.
Yep. But that is 7 crystals for 2C who will be heading into GT. But as Schultzer said, will not find the Desert Big there.
Is it on Ice Palace big chest? Again?
That'd be terrible.
For context, I just said a race, but my Gomod was on Ice Palace big chest.
Oh dear. Shovel, no.
Okay, we have like 8 checks left. Like, if you do Pyramid, why are you not just doing Ega on the way? Isn't that faster?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I also don't think he knows which... He might not know what his 5/6s are?
No, he definitely knows about Pod.
Well, that's one of them. Oh, you're right. He knows about Pod. Never mind.
I don't know what's actually faster, but it feels like... Like, Aga has to be faster, because you have to do it anyway.
Meanwhile, 2C is going to be going through GT, and this will be Matt kind of finishing off Aga 1. So 2C's time is... 2C's on a timer, essentially. He would need to not only clear out this basement and the climb, but then he would essentially probably have to go straight to the Desert Big Key. I don't think he would have any opportunity to, goof around with checks that are incorrect.
Yeah, the only thing I can see for 2C winning this is maybe flipper checks? But given the situation with unlucky hard piece timing, I don't think he's ever going back to flipper checks.
I kind of agree. I suspect Matt's routing is going to be, once this is done, go over, do Graveyard Lich King's Tomb into Catfish Pyramid or Catfish, the Zora area checks, and then finish off with the Ice Palace Big Chest. Which I mean,
I wouldn't.
if 2C like makes that call, and like that's Matt's last location, you know, Matt still would need to climb GT, which is something that 2C would already have, you know, in his back pocket.
Yeah, it's still gonna be close. Either way. But Aga Tower is not that slow as you see right now. He's almost at Aga already.
Mm-hmm.
And to see not even close with doing GT. Being done with GT. Or with the basement.
Do you think 2C checks Tile Room?
Yes, because he dashed GT so early, he has to hope that GT has something or to go more. Don't think he can. I think, given his position, he should never skip a cutscene. Tile Room here. Like, he did so many skips outside of GT.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want the Desert Palace Biggie to be in GT to win. And you know, you probably think that you are the first one in GT because you did so many skips, so why take that risk to skip one item in GT? If your opponent probably won't do it if it's its last location in GT.
Fair. To answer chat, TR4 was Skull Big Chest. With our big key being behind the flippers in Swamp Palace that we got in Turtle Rock.
They're close.
He
2C really skipped a lot in the seed.
did. Like, I'm looking at his map, and there is a lot of green still to be had. He still skipped front of Escape.
Oh no! He messed up. Can he save it?
Not quite.
He did better. He did better than me in my first season against Kuma, even without ice.
Oof. it feels so terrible.
Oh no, hair is small.
God, that hair is small.
No. Oh, he skips it.
Oh, we're skipping Tyler. And we're skipping hair is small. All right, let's go.
We're skipping both titles. Let's go. My Great Village is stuff that he can do linearly after he's done with GT.
Yeah.
But it's not there. Okay, we have Catfish. What do we have left?
Catfish, Zora area, Ice Big,
Lava
TR,
Chest.
and Lava Chest. Yeah.
This is so dumb. And Matt knows it's an awful location. I'm actually surprised he didn't do like the Sword idea first. But probably thinking that to see already already done it by waterwalking because he skipped out on it after getting fluid, and I thought, okay, if I can see why he's doing that last actually. Also, you can load it in with Catfish. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
He also hasn't done Aga Tower chest, number check on that side. He hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, speaking of mushroom, Deco Dini thinking to the flipper check that again. And if it's there, I don't know who's in the lead. It's probably to see. Oh, there it is. Matt! That is a Mickey!
again.
You cannot skip it out on that Mickey.
Oh,
That's close.
I mean, that's not bad for 2C.
It
Like,
depends on how fast 2C is gonna check Catfish. Like, this game is not over.
Like, I could definitely see 2C going there. Like, that is...
Oh no, it's a Nightmare dungeon, so you have to go back into the portal and then save and quit. Not a Dark World dungeon he has to do as the last dungeon.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have silvers as well, so that could also make the difference.
Make a slight difference, maybe? I don't know.
I mean, that's in the end.
Schultzer, I don't know. I don't know.
I also don't know. We need another 10 minutes to know who wins. Why? This is still anyone's game. I don't know how fast it's gonna go to see if it's gonna do Catfish. Like, still giving a maybe doing.
Like, I could see him doing Catfish.
I can also see him doing how's it called? He found cave in GT, so he's also inclined to go to do bumper ledge.
Cape and Burna were both in GT.
Yeah, he's never gonna go for
Not doing
Spike
Spike
Cave, I think.
No, I don't think so.
I think he's never. Let's say it this way. Oh, he's never doing Spike Cave before Catfish.
Fair.
Oh no!
Alright, Aga 2 down for 2C.
This is close. It doesn't feel close if 2C just runs to Catfish. But
Yeah, like if 2C just goes to Catfish, then yeah, he's...
If he clears anything, he doesn't win. If he's gonna do Thunder Castle here, that's not enough time anymore.
Well, let's see, how long is the climb?
Maybe 5 minutes. It's not that long.
He doesn't have. He's not taking the mirror out. So this is a Catfish. I think this is turning into the mushroom into Catfish. Maybe Graveyard Ledge first.
Oh, this could be the decider. That turnaround. That could actually be the decider. That could take too... does it take too long?
I don't know, because, like... It's going to take him, what, 90-ish seconds from the time he picks up the big key to finish off Desert?
Yeah, I think he's in the lead. But he's gonna do Bumper Cave. I think that's for sure. Like, not doing Bumper Cave here seems odd, because Cave was in GT.
Yeah, he's
And
doing
that puts him away from Catfish again.
Yeah, this... Okay. I'm starting to think this might be in Matt's favor.
Like, he's starting climb, and to see is like 1 minute away from his Disappear Spiky now. He's probably going for it now to give away the mushroom. No, it's over.
Nope. Alright, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, 2C's making the wrong call, which is very unfortunate, but we are now firmly in Matt's favor.
I'm actually surprised that to see it did not go over to Catfish to check mushroom and then going to Pump and Edge. I totally expect him to do that. That felt a little bit cleaner to the out, but that way he's never gonna go back to Catfish. So there's no way he's gonna win this now. It was not a solo. At least it was not water checks. At least it was not bad.
Yeah. That would feel really bad.
Yeah. But I didn't think that TwoC had any chance with doing the entirety of GT. Like, I thought it was over, but it wasn't. Like, TwoC is probably gonna head for dump checks now. Oh.
Double probably into a Pyramid Fairy play here.
Yeah. It makes sense, because he doesn't know about the information on pad, so he probably thinks that Matt probably also skips that because he was in GT mode. Like, not having that knowledge leads to the plays that he's doing, and it totally makes sense.
Yep.
I don't like left side swap if he's going for it. Probably. Oh, he's gonna do. Oh no, he's gonna do Pyramid Fairy into Cat. Is he gonna do Pyramid Fairy into Catfish? That would be so sad.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking here. Which is just going to be just too little too late for 2C.
He hoped for the GT bailout, but he didn't got it.
Nope. But I mean, having said that, like, you know, he was in GT at what, in the 120s, maybe even the high 110s. Like, this was a really fast seed otherwise, and is still going to be a really fast seed. You know, Matt's well on pace to sub 140 this.
Yeah, especially with Silvers, there's no chance he's not gonna sub 140.
Alright, that is Moldorm 2 down for Matt, as 2C heads over to Catfish, where he will pick up his go mode at Desert Big.
Oh, he's not gonna be happy to see Matt finish.
Nope.
Like, I was right there, I should have just done Catfish before I did the other checks. See, doing good skips. All was going well for him until he decided to skip the long check, basically.
Yep. Yeah.
And that can happen in 80 keys, that you skip one bad check, even just for 2 minutes, and that can lose a delays. Not often.
Go mode for 2C as Matt takes down Aga 2. What a race, dude. This was a crazy race.
All these aces being so close. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, all 2C's got to do now is finish off Landmo, walk back in the portal, and then save and quit, and he'll just pop off right on the right on top of the pyramid. But I expect Matt will be done by then. Oh, unless he walks into Ganon.
Matt's really hitting it up with the Ganon music that I don't think you can hear. Not sure who has the audio right now.
I've not paid attention at all to Matt's audio. Well, it's a good one, yeah.
Hey, I already forgot where it does came from.
I don't
But
remember either, but yep, precisely.
We need to ask him. But yeah, shooting him down with the Velos by 2C is getting his last dungeon done. Oh, it's Doom!
I should have known. That's it for Matt. Be sure to give everyone GG's, as Matt will finish in first place on this race. 2C not going to finish too far behind, but that is an official race time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 9 seconds. GG's to Matt. He will go up 1 game to none.
Like, the game coming down to see deciding to skip a catfish. Like, I didn't thought that would happen, to be honest.
And just Matt picking up that knowledge that he knew that he could go mode GT.
Yeah, I don't think he would have. I don't think he would have gone for GT after this down if he didn't had the knowledge. But hopefully we can just ask him in the interview if he decides to join. I actually don't know.
I'm sure we'll probably get one, if not both, runners in. But I'm sure we'll probably also wait until 2C is finished, considering he's not that far away. Oh yeah, he never picked up silvers.
Does take a little bit longer. Let's see if he can still do it sub 140, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Not with the death animation.
But we got at least Matt and... Oh no, not yet. They're not done. Takes so forever. This fight always feels like forever if we don't have silvers. But yeah, we let Tusi finish here and then we let Matt in here for an interview. And Tusi is done. The pig is dead and he finished. After going over the bridge, I need to search time because I started too early again, with an official time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 32 seconds.
GG's.
GG.
And I believe we are joined by Matt, our winner. GG's, Matt.
Hey, geez. How's it going?
GG's.
So this was an exciting race, essentially from start to finish. Like one of the biggest things that helped you out was reading the pedestal. Kind of when you saw that, kind of how did you feel knowing that that you could essentially go mode GT?
Yeah, so like it didn't click for a second there because the damn pedestal hints are so cryptic, and I was like, wait a minute. Is it not darkness that steals light? I was like, oh, okay, so the DP big is somewhere in the overworld. So yeah, like that was huge knowledge if I had it and he didn't. So that like, and then I immediately like went straight to pod. And when I went to pod, I was like, oh yeah, I can't even be in here. Like this is great. Can't be a pyramid fairy. So it really helped narrow it down.
Yeah, and that was definitely kind of the deciding factor because he didn't have the knowledge. So he full clear GT. Before searching out his desert big, his routing otherwise kind of worked out a little bit in his favor because you got the mirror early as well, and kind of that helped at the beginning. But then he picked up the second castle tower key before he got the mirror, which led him to kind of hit GT mode a little bit earlier, and so he was able to kind of make more skips, which unfortunately led to skipping catfish. But kind of talk us through how you felt this seed was overall for you.
I felt all right. Like the beginning sequence was kind of strange. I did Hype Cave West, and then I had this choice of like, do I go to the castle or do I clear out a bit in the Village of Outcasts? And I was like, well, I'm probably going to end up going to the Village of Outcasts more than once anyway. And if I get either a castle tower key or a mirror, it makes the Hyrule Castle stuff, some of which it wasn't even logic at that point, a little bit smoother. But I think it would have worked out a little bit better if I had gotten that Eastern big and then got the mitts and the mirror before going to the village for the first time. So that felt kind of bad. I was happy I didn't go into Mire and then went up the mountain because the mountain just kind of handed me everything that I needed there. it was a little awkward going to Hera and then immediately finding the Hera big key, but that didn't punish me. Although I did clean that up because I remembered I grabbed the book in Hera as well, and I didn't read Ether Tablet, and I was like, I should make that kind of a higher priority to clean up. And then after that, it was all right. Like the catfish check was nearly my last location. All I had beyond that was just the Zora checks, Lumberjack, and the 2 orphan chests in TR and Ice Palace. So I was thinking that even if he hadn't read the pedestal, if he had gone to catfish, which you could have done at multiple times, then he would still be in really good shape. So that was kind of how I was feeling.
Yeah, he was also in really good shape. Also made the last call decision not go over to catfish, but GG to him. He just joined for an interview to see. We just heard Matt perspective. Wanna share yours as well?
Yeah, GG, Matt.
Yo, GG, dude.
That was a pretty fun seed, honestly. Really fast. A lot of skips were made.
Yeah, you definitely you skipped your Hyrule Castle key and the vanilla big key chest, of Skull Woods, and that led you to skip the front of Escape entirely. We were talking about it before you came in, but the big difference in this seed was that Matt read the pedestal and saw that it was a pod small key on pedestal, and so he knew that Desert Big couldn't be in GT, and so you ended up full clearing GT. Unfortunately, for nothing, for nothing. That sounds worse than it is.
Yeah.
But you unfortunately full cleared GT. But kind of talk us how you felt overall this seed, because you also made some really good plays, and like you said, you kind of made some good skips along the way.
Honestly, I don't know. I felt pretty great. I played really well, honestly. Like aside from like a few small hiccups. And as I was like getting all the items, I was like, I'm almost in go mode. So I was just like constantly pushing, I guess, my luck. And then I was finding the big keys. And then I was in GT mode. I'm like, okay, definitely going to push that as well. Yeah, I don't know. I usually skip a lot of stuff, even in AD keys.
Yeah, we were thinking about maybe you even skipping the Maya big chest. Like we were really like, could he do it? Does he skip that? That could be really bad. we were not sure about that one.
Yeah, in a way, some skips, are grouped with some other stuff. So, like, for example, Ice Tea Room in Ice Palace. If I have the big key, I'll come back for those 2 items. So I didn't really want to isolate stuff like in Mire or, for example, in TR. That's why I full cleared those things.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But only game 1. You guys have game 2, I believe, tomorrow. And any thoughts about game 2? You guys prepared for, or at least Matt, are you prepared for losing an hour of sleep and still doing the race?
Dude, I completely forgot that's what will happen, but it's fine. I will wake up even earlier and get all my stuff done that I need to get done before it. But I was a little sad that you pinged that announcement like right after we scheduled this race.
Well, unfortunately, like you scheduling that is kind of what made me realize, oh wait, is daylight savings this weekend in the US? I'm like, oh, it is. I'm like, oh no, I got a ping.
Yeah. But it'll be great. This is a great series. It's getting down to it now, right? Facing only really good players, and this is kind of what you do this for, to have really good competition. And so, like this race was super close. It must have been super interesting as well. And like 2C was saying, he plays pretty aggressive, and I also play pretty aggressive. But when your go mode cannot be in GT, you kind of have to clean everything up.
Right.
But I'm really looking forward to the game tomorrow, and it's still anybody's series for sure.
Yeah, boot start. I mean, I love that. I'm gonna race everything with it. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Just saying, if we are facing in the finals, we are not having boot start, but I don't think that will happen.
Okay.
Not that you gonna make final. I don't think I'm gonna make it out of the gauntlet.
All right, let's make a deal. If we make it to finals, just invert it.
Okay, I'm fine. I'm totally fine with that one.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, that'll be exciting should that happen. I'm sure Matt has something to say about that though. And
listen, I'd be okay with having my freedom back. So if he beats me, I'll be just fine.
Fair enough. But GG's to both of you. Thank you for putting on such a great race. It was a lot of fun. Be sure, if you're in chat, to give both of these guys a follow if you haven't already. Also want to shout out our trackers, Scott G and Toffile. And Schultzer, as always, it is a pleasure commentating with you.
I have nothing more to add to that other than it was really fun commentating with you, Warkix.
Yeah.
Looking forward to have more of it.
I agree. And I think with that, I think I will sign out. Thank you, everyone, and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Appreciate the stream and everything, and all the commentating tracking.
Yep. See ya.
All right. Thanks to our commentators, trackers, and runners. On Zelda Speedruns, we've got the game 2 between these guys coming up tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. That's 1 hour closer to now than you might think because of daylight savings time. But definitely tune in for that. That'll be on the main Zelda Speedruns channel. Later today, we've got Ocarina of Time Randomizer, a standard NA weekly race starting in just 5 minutes on the main channel, as well as Tournament Season 5 Losers Bracket match going on right now at Zelda Speedruns 2. So stay tuned for that. Check it all out. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot.